political consensus on President Obama reached an all-time low. Do you think the people's expectations were too high at the beginning of his mandate?
There's a lot of scholarship on this question in the United States right now, and the consensus among scholars is that the expectations were too high, particularly during the first term, after he was first elected. One of the reasons for this is that he was such a talented campaigner, and many American voters don't quite understand the difference between what it takes to be a talented candidate, a skillful candidate, versus a president. They don't necessarily understand the nature of the office. Another reason for this, of course, for the expectations was the fact that he was the nation's first black president, and there was a lot of hope that his presidency would mean the end to some of our less fortunate, less harmonious past with regard to the legacy of racism. And of course now people realize that there's not such an easy solution to that problem.
And the political communication was one of the Obama's strong points in the presidential. What do you think went wrong in the last years?
That's a very good question. I want to point to two things that are part of what I think went wrong. One is Obama traditionally has been very good at telling stories, but only too late. So he's a very good speaker. He's very good at explaining narratives of why his policies are important. But in the healthcare campaign, for example, for what we call Obamacare now in the United States, my opinion is he was telling those stories too late. They needed to time differently his effort to make those, to make the case really through narrative, through how healthcare would, improved healthcare in the United States, improved access to healthcare, more universally applied to citizens would help people. And they probably needed to tell that story through anecdotes, through telling people's personal stories one at a time. They did get around to that, but they got around to it, in my opinion, much too late. The other mistake that I think that he has made has also been well documented among many journalists actually in the United States, that he doesn't always give the appearance of being willing to socially engage with the Republican Party. So you might hear people referring to previous administrations that had similar policy agendas, but let's take the Clinton administration, for example. Clinton was a little better known for trying to make the olive branch to the Republican Party, and I think Obama he's admitted it's not necessarily part of his personality to want to go out to dinner with large groups of people or have the social aspects. And at the end of the day, Washington is a small town, and those personal relationships can matter sometimes.